Slovenia held a general election yesterday. Normally, when I mention Slovenia in a video, it's in a positive way because their government has been one of the more conservative governments. But that has all changed. A brand new technocratic left-wing Green Party has exploded out of nowhere and is now going to run the country. So in the 2018 general election, the SDS, the Swedish Democrats, came in first place. They got 25% and 25 seats. There's 90 seats in the Slovenian parliament. 88 are filled by the general election. Then there's 2 seats reserved for minority interest. One is for the Italian community and one is for the Hungarian community. Now, I can't find any details about how exactly these seats are picked or what the rules are. So if you live in Slovenia, post a comment and you can explain this for everyone. But at any rate, the SDS was the dominant party after the 2018 election. They dominated the government. Now, the SDS, the Slovenian Democrats, is a conservative party. They're a member of the EPP, the European People's Party, in the European Parliament. They're one of the last remaining parties in the EPP that is actually conservative. In previous videos, I talked about how the SDS was likely to leave the EPP if Fidesz was kicked out. Well, Fidesz has been kicked out. The SDS did not leave. Fidesz is still basically in limbo. They haven't joined another grouping. Now they're trying to form a cross-grouping alliance of conservative parties that straddles 3 different groupings to try to create the largest group of conservatives within the European Parliament. But that's a subject for a whole nother video. So in this election, the SDS got slightly less, 23.5, but they actually won more seats, so they got 27 seats. So, but even though they got more seats, the amount of power they have in the Slovenian government is completely wiped out because the freedom movement, this brand new party, Sloboda, if I'm saying it right, they got 35.5% and they got 41 of the 90 seats. It's led by Robert Golob, if I'm saying that right. His name immediately reminds me of the joke word global homo, but that's beside the point. He was the chairman of Slovenia's state-owned power company. He was fired in 2021, and then he ran off and he ran for leader of a little tiny Slovenian party called Green Action. He became the leader. He rebranded, renamed the party. He called it Freedom Movement. And essentially, they ran on smug platitudes. They said that they were going to create a socially just society, a society based on tolerance and understanding and sustainability. And they're going to tax Coke and Pepsi, which I could care less because I don't drink it. And this and that, as essentially is a technocratic left-wing Green Party. Technology is going to solve all the problems, and they can spend as much money as they want on free health care and education, and they're calling for a crackdown on coal, and it doesn't matter because technology is going to, fix the problem. We can just shut down coal and not worry about it. And they're the winner. I mean, they came out of nowhere and took control of the country. So in 2018, there was a bunch of centrist parties. and they were completely wiped out. I mean, there's 4 parties here that were wiped out. So you need to get at least 4% in the Slovenian general election to win seats. There was also the Slovenian Nationalist Party. Now, if you go back to the 80s, this was a fairly big party, but they've been in decline ever since. Now, they are a hardline conservative nationalist party, even more so than the SDS, but they've been in decline, and they were wiped out. They won 4 seats in 2018. Now they got 0. This is the Slovenian Christian Democrats. So this is the establishment center-right. So this is like the Angela Merkels of Slovenia. And they actually dropped a little bit, but they went from 7 seats to 8 seats, even though they got a smaller percentage. Well, LMS, so this was a centrist party based around one woman, maybe more center-left and centrist, but they campaigned as centrist. They got 13 seats in 2018. They got 0. You have the Pensioners Party. They got 5 seats in 2018, 0 in this election. You got the SAB, which is another party that might have been center-left, but they campaigned as centrist. They went from 5 to 0. This was the big centrist party, SMC. They went from 10 to 0. Now, after the 2018 election, SMC essentially broke apart right away. And so 5 of their people, along with the 5 people from the Pensioners Party, joined with the National Party, the Christian Democrats, and the Swedish Democrats, and the Italian and Hungarian minority interest seats to form a majority. And so that's how the SDS became the dominant party, even though they only got 25%. But all these parties, all these centrist parties were wiped out. And then the traditional left-wing parties, you've got the Social Democrats and the Left Party. And they were reduced in seats. But of course, it just went to freedom movement. The Slovenian parliament is more polarized than ever. So there used to be a big chunk of people in the middle, and that's gone. Now it's just center-right and Sloboda with their left-wing allies. So the Technocratic Green Left is going to run Slovenia. And now we get to see what the results are. And I anticipate it's going to be similar to the results of Joe Biden running America, in that it's going to be a disaster. We will see. All right, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below, tell me what you think about this, and click the subscribe button. New video every few days.